Hey, what's happening, everybody? Been a little while, huh? So, yeah, I haven't really been able to do much with the gardening bit and stuff like that. Weather's obviously not right for that, and well, I got a lot going on at the house here. We'll see if I can get to it this summer. Hopefully, I can get to it at least a little bit. We're definitely going to have to brighten up the soil a bit and stuff like that. All kinds of everything you might need to do to start a new garden. That's exactly what we got to do. So whatever happens with that, stay tuned. We will be bringing it to you as soon as I can. At least get you some ideas if you're building already to add on to or change or whatever. But I came up on the mountain behind the house here, or the hills, they would say, because I saw this tree there from the back window. I wanted to see what was going on there. Looks like with the high winds, we've been getting some trees that you see these couple there, the roots are starting to pull out. Get right around there, you'll be able to see the roots pulling up. Maybe that's what happened with this tree here. The roots pulled up, but obviously it was dying. And as I was coming up around here, there's one there. There's several on the way up here too. But I noticed, remember that? I don't know if you guys saw them. I may not even edited that and finished it, but I have that tree stand that was here when we got the place. And it was up on this tree. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not getting on that thing because the tree looked like shit. Well, lo and behold, now I don't have to climb up there and worry about falling down. It came down. It looks like it's all in one piece too, because it was facing up the hill here. Because this is a real good spot for hunting. The doe bedding's back in here. The bucks are up in the back here, up on top. They go all the way up top, but they cruise right along here. And I was out here hunting one day, and I had a deer come right up to me. Frankly, I had other deer there, so I didn't shoot, and I couldn't move because he was off to my right hand side. But it was so cool, man. It was within like 10, 12 feet from me, maybe closer. But I was only just over this way, in between this stand and another stand that's over there. And I wanted to get in there, but I knew better. And thankfully, God knocked that tree down. So now I can figure out a way to use that tree stand without having to worry about crushing it or getting crushed myself or falling out of that tree. You can see here, I mean, obviously it was pretty dead, but it was connected to this piece here, right there. And that one doesn't look any healthier, right? So we're gonna stay away from that side of it. But you get what I'm saying, right? I might have to replace the straps on it or whatnot. But looks like all the pieces are straight. Definitely usable enough. I don't see nothing bent like at all. Yeah, if it's got anything, it's a very light tweak. So yeah. Tree stand and a feeder. I don't know if I'll use the feeder, but the stand I'll probably use. I think I'm going to be more or less about creating a setup to where they feed themselves. The food's always around. I just got to know where to go at the time, and or food plotting and clearing some areas so the fresh trees come up. Yeah, we're probably going to wind up selling some trees out of here once we see what we got left. We're going to talk to a forester and stuff, and that way we can bring some more life in there, and maybe have some other trees to be able to harvest in like 15 or so years that are get to go fully along. It definitely needs more clearance so the trees can grow better, and at the same time it'll help us, because right now when this forest is fully the canopy's full, you still have a real clear shot through everything, right? Like So that means the deer can see, right? There's no cover for neither the deer or you, right? It's a lot tougher. So I'm thinking, after doing some research and stuff on all that stuff, it looks like the best way would be to go along those lines. You know what I mean? Try to clear the forest up a little bit better. But man, we'll walk back down to the holler, but you see one after another. These things are just ripping out of the ground, or they're dead from them spraying the aluminum, and then that takes their defenses down, and then the bugs can get to them. And probably some poor forestry care for years, and the way trees were harvested prior, they could have been, not cleared right, you know what I mean, or thinned and stuff like that since. And sometimes they don't cut, if you don't cut the root out, they can sprout many trees out of one root, and then you wind up with these goofy ones like you just saw, the one that split with the tree stand on, that had two halves, right? Same thing with this one down there that fell, right? The one that was originally showing you. You see there's two to it, right? I was right over here. Maybe I'll edit the video. I got a shot off with the deer, and I think I fucked up, because this is the first time I've ever hunted deer. But I was sitting right here. You see, I got my little log there that I was sitting on, a little piece of wood. And that deer was in about that distance, right where my fingertip is from me, just stomping, trying to get me to move, because it knew there was something there, but I wasn't moving. So it didn't, it never ran. And it wound up getting up over here. At the same time, I had two bigger deer over this side that I really didn't want to scare off them. So hoping that one would come along, and there's probably more coming, so I wasn't too worried about it. Just kind of learning. And I was like, well, this one came out right around here in front of me, and it just started munching. What am I gonna do? Right? You see the briars right there, the little brushed briars. They eat 80% briar, right? So little tree saplings. And it was sitting there feeding, and I went right for the heart shot, and I think I got it. But the problem is, I didn't have the experience to know to let that thing run and leave it be for a little while before I went up and came back and looked for it. And I basically chased it off the property. I don't know where it wound up, but it wasn't on this property by the time I were done. I had a whole day or so of, searching around and stuff. It was just, in the evening. So, I learned a lesson there. I'm thinking about just going for headshots unless I'm going for a buck. Just so I can drop it right there. And, for sure, give it time. If I do hit it good like that. It was at least a dual lung shot or a single lung shot, but I thought I was going for the heart. And the thing, if you look at the videos, you'll understand videos out there of this stuff. You'll see what I'm talking about. But when you hit them, they'll do that jump. They kind of like do an arch in the back, like, you know what I mean. And then they take off sometimes, because if you don't get that doesn't ever necessarily always drop them right there, right? And I think it took off to the beds off this way, and I went for it too quickly, and I think I chased it, basically scared it, and it kept on going. So it probably would have rested over in those beds, and then I went into those beds all throughout that night and didn't make nothing over there besides a whole lot of live deer. So, big mistake, but I learned somehow, I guess. So next time, take your time, give them a couple hours or whatever you feel you need to. If you're looking into history or some of recordings people put out there to try to help you learn. Depending on the shot you got and time of day and all, but sometimes they leave them for come back for like another 4 to 8 hours just so they the thing will go settle somewhere comfortable and expire and that way it can't run away. And that way you get it and there's no waste. Right? That's what bothered me the most, and that's part of the reason why I didn't finish that video, was because I felt bad about it. But yeah. Anyways, there's definitely deer back here. We don't have a problem with that. I don't think I'm ever going to worry about farming a cow or something when I can have something that's living back here naturally, a whole herds of them, or at least a herd, right? I think that's how they roll, one herd at a time or so, right? And if I can have a herd of organically eating food that takes care of itself, well, that's the easy way to go about it, right? So as I was saying, there's another stand over there. If you see the, let's see if I can get that lined up and see what the hell I'm talking about. But where is it at? Yeah, this right there. There's a ladder right there, an old iron ladder. It's just laying up there. Excuse me. But I could tell between those two, I was like, okay, this is probably a good spot if they got 2 tree stands here, right? And it is. Frankly, it only takes me about 10 minutes, if not, I could probably be up here in less than 5 minutes if I want to, from the house. It's not, I'm not gonna, you guys can hear the road back there, right? It's running right behind me, the road. You see the power lines over there, right? So, this is 47 acres, right? So this goes back quite a while, quite a bit, man, quite a few hundred yards. I think I'm at most about 100, or no, I'm sorry, that's more than 100 yards from here, probably, but a fair amount, but not too far from the house. I just wanted to see what that was going on with them trees, and you'll see here, that's another one that just came down. And when I seen that tree stand down, I had to go up even further, right? Now this here cuts off, that's our trail to go up into the mountain. You can look there, that's one of the main trails. So that cut that trail off. And I got another one down here to cut the trail off, or so I got a lot of work to do back here. It'll probably take me years, but that's okay. I might even, a lot of this stuff, as long as it's out of the way and down to where it's not going to hurt nobody. Well, when we're walking back here or whatever. I would like to, once I get a machine or two that I can run up in here, move this stuff around, or at least in sections of it, and create more pathways to direct the deer and to give them some cover, as well as give you cover or give us cover. You see here, that's the one I was really looking for originally, to see what the hell that was at the back of the house. You can see at the kitchen window. And that's a leaner. That isn't a double tree though, is it? Look, there's some here. See all these ones here. And they're just ripping right out of there. And we'll see what happens, man. But I'm thinking, if I can direct stuff around and lay it in places to where it kind of will direct the deer to choose a path all the time. And that way you can come up to that path and you'll know they're going to come cruising through and be on the other side of that, camoed behind it, see, right? And not even have to go up into a stand necessarily. I mean, you can't put a stand everywhere, or you could, but that gets expensive. So I kind of like being on the ground. My legs don't like climbing. My buddy Lenny, that's renting with us, he's got a real bad knee where it's had to be bolted and pinned back together and stuff. So he can walk around the ground and do all right. He can get through here half decently, but climbing and stuff, I don't know if that's, he might be he can definitely climb a ladder, but he can't do it over and over, right? So it might not be the best. But see, this is the other one that's kind of blocking my trail here. I went around it last time, so let's go around it because I don't want to get hurt. I got to make it back alive. Let's cruise around this bad boy. But there's other ones that aren't too much better, as you see. Shady all about it. And this is why I gotta do a lot of forestry work back here and maintain this place better. And it's been a long time, I think, since it's been harvested and maintained, at least properly. They tried, the people that bought it for me, the guy, he started to, but he only lived here for about 2 years before he passed away from cancer. So he's gotten some work done, but much more to do. Let's go take a peek at our little stream here. See how that was rolling pretty good not too long ago when I was up here. You see the walnuts? Or no, chestnuts. Right there. Right? They're all over the place over here. That's what I'm trying to say. That this place is already set up with, there's acorns all up and down throughout here. There's chestnuts, there's walnuts. There's apple trees supposedly around here. I haven't found them yet. There's berries, bushes and shit. So yeah, I gotta learn it before I can do a whole lot, because I might be wasting money and time thinking doing one thing. It's already there in some way, and I just maybe let's say take clippings and clone some stuff maybe. As you see, I think in the summer, this is all dry when we first got here. Now, there was a little bit stream running when we first looked at the place in June. And in July and August, it was dry. And then I think late September, it started running a little bit. I just wanted to see what's going on up in here, too. See anything going on that I need to know about. Plus, I mean, how can you go wrong with that, right? That's peaceful. I mean, just come back here, come up to the pavilion, maybe a couple of drinks, some friends, by yourself, break out the Scooby snacks, roll one up, you know what I mean? Enjoying life. Maybe give it a little better view now that we're on a little bit flatter ground. And that was down when they got here, that tree here. I mean, there's definitely others that are going to have to be cleared and they're going to come down. But definitely some deadfalls. You see what I'm saying? Like that there, that's going to come down. Yeah, it's right over top of the pavilion, so somebody can get hurt there. So, yeah, I don't know what this one is yet. Kind of was going to say, kind of looks like a maple with the bark, but I don't know enough about trees. Not yet. So, but that might be something I might want to consider harvesting before it's toast like that. You know what I mean? I don't want them to get to that point because they're useless then, right? They're worthless. People, and they might get bugged out that you're, harvesting trees and stuff. But if you consider the fact that you can't use it if you just let it rot, right? Nobody gets nothing out of it, and then, no new ones can grow until that's gone, because anything underneath of it ain't nothing going to happen, right? So, like, none of its seedlings can, reproduce and keep on going if you don't clear them. So, going to have to be some clearing. Now, this side, I've only got up to a certain point, so let me see. There's a tree. Let's see if I'm touching that right around there. See, there's a purple spot on that. You might not be able to. It's kind of dark, but let's see if I can get my sunglasses off to see here better. Yeah, there's right there. There's a purple stripe on that. All right, so that's my line. That's our property line, and it goes up along the edge of that. And then it goes way over that way, all over this side. We got, but we even got stuff up there that's gonna be coming down. There's some monsters around here, I tell you. Some huge trees. Some of them would do better once they're clear, once the big guys are out of the way, and then there'll be money trees later on, right? And they gain us income. What's that? You see that? I don't know if that's his dog got up here, my neighbor's dog got up here, or we have other things. I would say it's probably other things. There's even up here, right? I think these are all chestnuts. But look at this big ass freaking tree, right? All the time it took for that thing to grow. And it's the best firewood now, right? I mean, I don't know. There might be some solidness to it, but it's, it's sad, it's just a waste. They ain't here not to use. So we're going to try to regain and help us pay for everything around here. Pay for the house and stuff like that. And then at the same time, we'll get it to where we can have more of them coming, and hopefully it'll be up and going in 15 years or so. You see the game trail right there? They're still using it, even though we're shooting right there. As long as you ain't up in here all the time bothering them. See, like I figure we can use this as our main recreational hangout, enjoy the yard, woods, and privacy and all that stuff. And then up in here, just, we can do some cruising and stuff like that, but maybe do some four-wheeling or something. But I don't want to do it like mad like I did when I was a kid, because I want the deer here. I want the animals here. I want the guaranteed chance of being able to get some meat right out back, right? But there's just so much to think of and consider. A lot to do. You see how high that goes up there, right? Ain't no joke on foot, let me tell you. It's doable. it's doable. I've gone up there and had to come back to, take care of squirt rat and stuff. Make it back in time, but it'd be a whole lot easier on a four-wheeler, I tell you, or a side-by-side. So I gotta work on that eventually here. I would really love to be able to get a side-by-side, because then I can take squirt rat with me. She can sit in there comfortably and safely. Four-wheeler, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, now I need some fish up in here. Which we might have up in that pond, I'm not sure. I have no idea what's up in there. It's just the serenity of that. Jeez. Well, I guess I'm going to leave y'all here with this. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. I know it's been a good while since I've been able to do any recording or anything, so I just wanted to touch base with y'all. Just know, I'm still at it, and I ain't done. I just made that big move, and now there's still the things to take care of in the house, and get our household assembled and settled, you know what I mean, and where we want it. And then I can do a little bit more with the gardening and playing out here and stuff like that. So I hope you're all having a wonderful new year so far. I know we're in February now, and sure looks like things are going well on the political front, as we were hoping to do and pull off. There's a long ways to go yet, but it looks like we're on the right path there, right? I guess I'll catch you all next time. I don't know, maybe I'll do some editing on that last piece just so y'all get to see it and see what I meant. But God bless y'all. This is Brandon from Philly 369 Garden, also known as now as Philly Gardens in West Virginia. I was trying to keep you all being able to know it was me, but at the same time, help people understand that we're down in West Virginia, and that. And maybe it'll help them also understand if they see the Philly part and all that. Yeah, that's where we came from. We went from a little tiny 550 square foot garden to a 47 acre homestead. All right, catch y'all later. Take care. See you next time. Peace.